All right, the exercise you're going to be working on for this assignment is to demonstrate ease in and ease out. Traditionally, it's referred to as slow in and slow out. At some point, they decided easing is a easier to understand and work with term, so they started calling it ease in and ease out. All right, so what happens in easing is what it's doing is it's accounting for the fact that objects don't pick up speed instantly. You don't start running and you're at full speed the minute you start running. You get a few steps in and then you build up your speed. And then you hold your full speed. And then also when you go to stop, you don't immediately stop. You slow down first. Okay, even if it's just a few steps. If you came to a crashing stop, the only way you do that is by running into a brick wall, which is pretty uncomfortable, or so I've heard. All right, so taking a look at this, this is a grid that's created by Richard Williams. Richard Williams, who is one of the animation greats. He is behind the animation Roger Rabbit. Now, the grid is created and it's simple. You just follow it through. Okay, you are doing the exact same thing that you were in the last assignment, making a keyframe with every frame. Okay, just like when you were animating on the ones. So this is basically, it's animating on the ones and it's showing you exactly where to mark each one. All right, so what you're going to do is you've got the two pennies here. One is on the ease layer, one's on the no ease layer, and you just follow it. Okay, so if I start with it on the no ease layer and I press F6, I can then move it forward to the next marker, F6 to the next marker, F6, and I can set this up until let's say frame 5. I'm going to stop right there. And then the difference is when I go over to this one, I'm going to target that one. I'm going to press F6. And instead of actually dragging, I'm just going to use the arrow keys on my keyboard and go forward a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to go F6. And you can see down here where your markers are. All right, so it doesn't really go far. There's 2. Actually, I'm going to go a couple more pixels forward. There we go. And then press F6, and let's move it forward to where 3 is. F6, and you see how that distance starts getting a little bit bigger. F6, and then up to frame 5. And after frame 5, I might start using the mouse to drag it again until I get to the end. So if you scrub through, you can see this one's not going very far. Okay, now the goal is each one is 25 frames. So they're going to travel the same amount of distance in the same amount of time. It's just how they get there is going to be different. So finish out this exercise, create the rest of it, and then you should have a good example of what the difference between the two is. One without easing and one with easing.